What if I told you that you don't need a fortune to start investing in land, just $5,000, and that there's a simple system that helps you avoid ever losing money? Sound impossible? In this episode, we're going to break down exactly how you can safely start land investing with $5,000, even if you've never done a real estate deal in your life. Stick with us, because missing this could cost you years of wasted time and thousands of dollars. Joining me tonight, Landon AI Harris, the aquatic investor. Landon, how are you?
Well, off of vacation and back at it. So I'm loving life right now, though.
Love
It's
to hear
good.
that. Love to
Yeah,
hear
man.
that. And he just turned the big 5-0. Dude,
Yes.
buddy, the nightcap OG, I'm speaking extra loud for his older years. Scott Bossman, what's up?
What's up, fellas? I joined the 50 club, so exciting stuff.
Welcome to the back nine. It's really nice over
Thank
here.
you.
You know, you get to that, you get to 50, you just don't care anymore.
Right?
Like, I don't care. You know,
Yeah,
it's
I
incredible.
was looking forward to that point in my life. It's all good.
It's all good. So I think we got a great topic tonight: how to start land investing with $5,000 and never lose money. So, Landon, how much money did you and Taria start out with when you started land investing?
Actually, it started about 10K. I think it was
10K.
10,
Okay, so
15,
you had
somewhere around
double.
there. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And
But
then,
it was
yeah.
just it allowed us a little extra cushion. But 5K, it's doable. Very doable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, buddy, what'd you start with?
So I think I'm going to say we started with about 3,000, maybe 3 to 4,000. Um, I was kind of bound and determined to make it work with the investor toolkit, and once we did a deal after a few months, then I found more money. So
Amazing. I
yeah.
started with $3,000. So, but that was in 2000. So, Landon, if you're starting today with $5,000, what's
Mhm.
the game plan so you can buy property? You're not going to lose money.
Not lose money. Well, all right. So one of the things, this is to me, like it's so important. I use this, and I'm not just saying it because of what it is, but education. You got to learn. Like it's so important to know what you're doing going in. Like if I went into it and we hadn't gone through the program and hadn't figured this out, like struggle because I don't know what I'm looking for, and I don't know where are these little niches, and I don't have the community, and I don't have, I just didn't have the direction to kind of figure out what I don't know. And that's the really thing. So one of the things is, yeah, I just got to get educated, got to learn, I got to know what I'm needing to find out. So that one's probably a big one for me, a really big one for me.
Yeah. Dude, that's a great one. Dude, buddy.
Well, that would also be my first recommendation. If you have, I mean, $5,000 to start, can you take a little bit of that and learn how to do it? I mean, I think you could bootstrap it nowadays, but if you could buy something like the Dirt Rich Starter Kit, which I think is a really great product for beginners, to get your
Yeah.
feet wet, that's going to enable you not only some good material to learn, but it is going to enable you to tap into the community. It's going to enable you to come to our Land Geek bootcamp weekends, right? Virtual boot camps, which are just 3 days of high intensity learning about land investing. And you go to one of those weekends and you just learn so much. I kind of think of it like, as a physical therapist, I used to have to go to all these continuing education weekends, and you would go in and there was this topic you were going to learn, and you came out 3 days later so much smarter, and you were able to apply that to being a clinician. It's the same thing with land investing. If you start on your own a little bit, work it on your own a little bit, and then you're able to come to one of those weekends or some type of networking event, man, it just really helps propel you forward, I think. So I agree with Landon. I think if you could reserve a little bit of that money of $5,000 for education, I think that's a really good idea.
No, I 100% agree. Well, this could be the shortest nightcap ever. It's like, just invest in yourself.
Yeah.
You're good. But okay, let's assume that they've invested themselves.
Yeah.
They've gotten some education, and now they've got $5,000
Yeah.
capital
Okay.
and buy land, right? So Landon, you got $5,000 to go buy. If
Okay.
you don't want to
Nice.
lose money,
Yep.
what do you do? Where do you start? What's
Okay.
what's the plan?
I'll tell you one that I start with, but we're still doing this to this day. We are getting people who are just delinquent on their taxes. And this is the craziest thing about it. I look at it, it's like, okay, they're behind about 2 grand. And it's been going on for years. I could pick this property up for maybe $100 because maybe that's all the property is. I'm willing to pay for the property, right? I mean, maybe it's 2 grand, maybe it's 1,000. I don't know, but whatever that is, I could get it for virtually nothing. I pay the back taxes. I reach out to the county. I go, hey, I'm assuming this property. I'm going to pay this property off. I will pay it off in segments. You don't have to pay it all off right away. You can just pay it off in small segments and just start getting. Now you have a tangible property. You can just start marketing immediately and start to make money off of the investment. And then you get the cash, you get the terms. It's paying for itself. And all you did was reach out to somebody who, you know, had either decided, I don't want this property. And so I'm just going to let it go back to collections. They were willed it, from their parents or family. And they just said, what, I'm never going out there. So now you have something that, where it was worth nothing becomes something that's worth a lot. And for you and what you can do with it. And you move it on to somebody else who is actually wants it, loves it, who's willing, who really has an invested idea of kind of what I could do with this property. Maybe it's a home they want to build. Maybe it's investment for their family or, yeah, so many different things, but that's where I would probably really start. And like I said, I'm dealing this today. As a matter of fact, we just did this deal like last week, a couple of deals like that last week. Got a few people. They had some back taxes on it. Said, sure, I'll take over it. Called the county and then said, hey, we're going to take it over. They were happy to get it because now we're paying off the property instead of it going into collection. Even when it was going into collections, talked to the collections. They were grateful and they were willing to work with me. And I said, yeah, we'll pay this off over, I don't know, a couple months. They were thrilled. We'll let you know about some other people that we have that are in the same situation. So now I've got a connection with them that they're going to let me know about some other properties. And all I did was just pick up a property that was it was a little behind in their back taxes or or HOAs. Simple
love
way
it.
to do it.
I love it. Dude, buddy, what's your thoughts? Wait, can't hear you. You're on mute.
Uh-oh.
So thinking about a $5,000 budget, I do have some things in mind, like thinking, how would I break all that up? How would I budget $5,000? I mean, if we want to stay on this topic, this is one of my strategies, right? I'm gonna mail a county, but I'm gonna mail a county after I do some careful research. And I'm probably not going to be mailing a county where I have to buy land for $5,000. I mean, you could do that. That's another topic. But something that's within my budget, county where I can buy land for maybe $500 to $1,000. There's hundreds of areas out there you can do that, and find an area where there are other land investors working in that area, right? And I would pick a very small area within that really large county. So, these counties are huge. It's better if you're going to send out a mailing campaign, pick out a small area, subdivision, something like that, and just send out maybe 1,000 offers. Dedicate $1,000 to sending out some offers in that area, and maybe price them 25, 35 cents on the dollar, and sit back and wait to get some hits, and you'll get hits. So that's the first thing I do with $1,000. Landon, we have a question from Chicks with Brass. How do you
Okay.
find your delinquent properties? Do you just mail an area and then go after and then interact with people who are delinquent, or are you finding these delinquent people before you mail?
So, good question. There's two ways to do it. To be honest, the best way we've done it is just we mail to a lot of people. Like just like you said, we kind of find that area, that small pocket, and we just start mailing. But I mean, to be honest, it's simple ways to call the county, ask them to send you a delinquent list. You can pick that up so easily. Man, it may cost you 100, $200, but you'll get so much more out of it. And actually, as you move forward, but like I said before, the best way that I've done it is find the area, mail them, and when they respond back, because they do, they know they're delinquent. They're willing to. I would say they're willing to take a little bit of money and turn it over to you instead of just getting nothing for it. So that, to me, is the easiest way to do it.
I love it. You know what I would do if I started today with $5,000? I'd buy confidence with it. I would actually do the education piece, and then that's going to give me confidence. Like, okay, I've got this community. I've got experts who are kind of watching this, and I've got knowledge. Right now, I'm going to take that knowledge. I'm going to apply the knowledge towards a LandArb deal. So I'm going to use like $100 to control, let's say, a $5,000 property, and then I'm going to flip it. Now I'm going to get my reps in, right, and I'm going to learn the marketing piece and the sales piece. And then once I have confidence with that, then I'm going to do maybe a wholesale deal with another $1,000 or $1,500. And now that's going to give me a little bit more experience with just doing due diligence. And now I'm practicing again my marketing, my sales. I've got my due diligence under my belt. And then I'm going to feel really confident about doing what you guys are doing, which is the retail piece, sending out my offers, doing my due diligence, getting that property, and now selling it. So if I had $5,000, that might be my strategy. Poke holes in it.
Yeah, I think I would start with LandArb as well, Mark. I think
Yes.
starting with LandArb for sure is a great strategy. You could test multiple areas. You can buy with $1,000, you could buy 5 or 10 LandArb
You
properties
could
if you
get a
wanted
lot.
to.
Yeah.
And but even if you bought, let's say you bought 3 LandArb properties, all at $100 a month. Now, if you budgeted for, okay, I'm going to give myself 3 months to sell these properties, so that's 300 per property, so about $900, right? That's gonna push you out 3 months. The time horizon on those 3 LandArb properties is 3 months for $900. You're bound to sell one of those in 3 months if you're marketing like you should be, right? And then maybe you try a few different areas and see which one really kind of resonates with your buyer, and take notes on that, and then maybe steer your mailing toward that direction. So I do agree. I think I probably would start with a LandArb approach somewhere.
Yeah, and Landon, I feel badly because I feel like we're talking inside baseball, and someone's like watching this right now, and they're like, "What's LandArb? What's wholesale? What's retail?"
Yes.
So,
Yes.
would you mind just kind of breaking it down what each one is real quickly?
Sure. So let's say you've gotten to the community and you are let's just start with the wholesale. I love the wholesale. Because to me the ARB is kind of a spin-off of the wholesale. So with the wholesale, basically you're getting a property that someone else has already found, and they are willing to sell it for you for 50 cents, or I would say 50 cents off of the market price. And they're willing to leave enough meat on the bone that you can actually make money off of it. Now you may not make the 4x, but you're making something. You're at least making 50% more than what you had actually purchased it at. So the wholesale method is fantastic. I love the ARB because the ARBs to me are just these are just fun to me. And I say it's fun because you don't have to put a whole lot of skin in the game. You're putting in a little bit of down payment, and you're just taking the rights to actually market a property. You're paying a little bit a month. So let's say we're going to take a property and we are actually going to sell it on terms for, let's say, 300 down and 200 a month. Well, I'm probably going to pay my investor, who's actually I'm arbing the property. I've set up an agreement with the investor. We're actually probably about $100 a month. I'm going to mark it up just a little bit more, and now we can pay 200. So I get to pay my investor, and I collect the extra 100 a month. So it's a really simple method, but you don't have to put a whole lot of money down. You're really able to start with, just like I said, very little. So the art method for me, super fun, especially since you're just starting. And a lot of these properties, the due diligence is done. You don't have to go through, I don't want to say you don't have to, but the due diligence has pretty much been done. They've already mailed. They've already got that out of the play. And sometimes these properties they come with photos. You've already got marketing package to start with. So you really come with a large package to really get started in the business. So wholesale are great places to start for me. Great places.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, dude, buddy, what's a retail deal?
Yeah, so I'm going to buy that property ideally through a mailing for at a deep discount, 25 cents on the dollar, and then I'm going to turn around and sell it at market value, cash. Those are sweet deals, right? Say I buy for 2,500 and I sell for 10,000 cash, sweet deal. Or we might owner finance it over time for $10,000 and try to get as much on the down payment as we can to decrease our cost basis in that property. So, I think we talk a lot about let's get 15, 20% down on what we paid. So if I paid $2,500 for the property, I want to get $400 or $500 down ideally. And then you structure the deal in a way where you get your money out in 10 months or less. That makes a pretty sweet deal, right? Every once in a while you get the humdinger, right? Where you get what you paid on the down payment. Those are pretty sweet deals. So if I pay 2,500 for the property and finance it for 10 grand, but I get 2,500 down, those deals can move the needle. Now, they don't happen all the time, but they will happen if you're consistent. You're going to get these little golden nuggets every now and then.
Yeah, yeah. And I want people to understand that a LandArb deal, as great as it is, they're not plentiful like wholesale and retail. Because the only way you're going to get a LandArb deal, the only way someone's going to let you control a piece of property for $100 down, $100 a month, is that they've already sold that property maybe a few times and they've lowered their cost basis to the point where they're in profit now. And you're just a better buyer and a faster buyer than what they could do back in the open market. And they're happy to do it for you. And so I don't want people to think, oh, there's just a plethora of LandArb deals. There's not. Wholesale and retail, absolutely. But when I say I would start with LandArb, well, it's not as easy as I make it sound. Like, they're not that plentiful. Is that a fair statement to make?
That's fair. That's fair. You don't find a lot of those in the just out there. You have to search a little bit. You have to connect, be connected in the community, know who you're going to actually speak to, and they've got to fit. It's got to fit. Even within your own county, the county that you're actually working in. So, no, I agree with you. They're not plentiful, just all over the place, but they're there if you look. They are there if you look.
Yeah, and that's why I think the education piece and the community piece is so important, because you're in the community, that investor already knows you're educated and you're a good person to sell that property to, because the likelihood of you defaulting on them is really small. So they're willing to do it with you and help you out. But if you're a total stranger, you're watching a YouTube video like, hey, can I get a LandArb deal? Like, well, who are you? It's like, probably not. Dude, buddy, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I think you can find those properties by being hungry as well. So, just make yourself known that you want a LandArb property in a particular county. go post it somewhere, and maybe go drop a few land investors a line and say, hey, would you happen to have any LandArb properties in this state or this state or this county or this county? I get requests like that all the time. I'm happy to work with people with that if I know that they're part of the land investing community for sure. And people, another really cool thing about buying a property LandArb through another land investor or wholesale from another land investor is by doing that, you just learn a lot, right? You just learn the mechanics of, okay, how does this all happen? I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm going to pay Landon $100 a month for a property, but I'm going to watch what he does. And I'm going to really learn, okay, the process that he took me through, and I'm going to see what documents he provides me with. And I'm going to pick his brain for, why is this a good property? Or, have you had experience in this area selling? And what does that look like for you? What's your typical buyer in this area? So you can learn a lot from the people you're buying from. Obviously be respectful of their time, but a few questions can really get you a long way when you take the leap and buy one of these LandArb properties or wholesale.
I love it. Let's flip it on its head. Landon, what's the biggest mistake you could see somebody making with $5,000?
5,000. Okay. Biggest mistake. You jump in and you start getting all these tools and all these systems and all of these extra things, and you're not even there yet. And you're spending all your money on websites and tools that you don't need yet, and Airtables and you name it. And while these are all important things, they're all important, aspects that we all have in our business. In the beginning, you don't need them. And to be honest, you can make it without it. They're nice to haves. I'll say it that way. They're nice, shiny objects. They're nice to haves. But I find that, sometimes we just get excited about, and I need this and I got to have that. And no, really, you just need a way to take a down payment and a way to be able to market. Like those are important things, and obviously mail. And so there are some things that you do need. Yeah. But for the most part, you don't need to spend on all of these extra tools when you get started. You keep it simple. I would probably just bring it back to that. It's keep this thing simple, and you can do really well. And as you gradually get better and improve, and you see problems that you need, then you start to add these other tools that are necessary. But I think jumping in too soon with too many extras and shiny objects, good way to lose money and spend money that you don't need.
I love it. It makes me think, because you're a swim coach. So I don't know if everybody knows, like Landon, if you wanted to be an Olympic swimmer, you'd go to Landon and he would coach you. And it makes me think like, okay, here, Landon, here's my kid. I want him to be an Olympic swimmer. And you're like, okay, we're going to spend $1,000 on all this extra equipment before we teach him just how to do a proper stroke. like no one would do that.
I've got the $50,000 goggles and the super speed suit, and I just spent $500 on that. And it's like, yeah, but we just got to get you to point A to point B first. So,
right.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, when you're at that level, yes, maybe that $50,000 goggle could make the difference between gold and silver.
Right.
But how about just doing it correctly?
Right.
And having somebody helping you. I love that.
Yeah.
You said that. That's a
For
huge
sure.
mistake we see people making. They want all the bells and whistles, and they don't need it. Dude, buddy.
Yeah.
What about you? What's the biggest mistake you see people making?
Biggest mistake people make. I've talked to numerous folks in the past who have sent out 5,000, 10,000, even more mailers, like all one on one attempt, and they end up with nothing.
Mm.
And I'm just of the opinion that there needs to be some strategy with your mailing, and you need to kind of go low and slow initially. So earmark $1,000, see how that goes before you start sending out mass mailing. And every once in a while, I'll see a post where somebody says, I sent out 30,000 mailers last week. 30,000 mailers? Like,
That's
you
30
either
grand,
really
by
know-
the way. What's
What's
that?
that?
30 grand.
Yeah,
That's
it's like 30
grand a
grand.
mail.
Yeah. So they maybe have a lot of money. So they're not the $5,000 investor at this point. But even still, I mean, so I think you need to take a measured approach. I really like with $5,000, make sure you do take a hybrid approach. Don't put all your money in mail. Don't put all your money in buying wholesale properties. Don't put all your money in buying LandArb, because you could buy 20, 30 LandArb properties and then maybe get a little bit overwhelmed with too many properties. So dip your toe in with all this stuff. And but yeah, don't send out 5,000 mailers on your first attempt.
Yeah. So between, sending out too much mail, and number one, like, yeah, you're going to get deals, but then you can't close the deals because you're overwhelmed with due diligence. Yeah. You're like the dog chasing 10 rabbits, and then they don't know what to do when they catch one.
Right.
And then all the bells and whistles and all the toys and all the software and all the systems, all the processes, you don't need it in the beginning. I remember back a long time ago, I had a client that told me, I don't want to, sell a piece of property until I look professional. I want to get a logo and I want to have a website. And I'm like, you're not a professional until you make money. So that's what a professional is. They make money doing this. That it's not, they don't look a certain way. They're the ones doing it. And no one cares. Yeah. Josh wore a robin flower. Okay, come on. Is that a real name? What kind of name is that? Josh wore a robin flower. Maybe. Hello from above the Arctic Circle. Excited to meet you all November 3rd. Come in Durbridge Summit. Josh wore a robin flower. I will remember you at Durbridge Summit because your name's amazing. Thank you for all the info and everything y'all do. Thank you. I'm going to take it. It feels like a big hug.
Yeah, that's awesome. Have you ever had anybody come to a live Land Geek event from above the Arctic Circle? I don't know. That might be a first.
Circle.
That's
is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I bet it's beautiful out there right now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
We're excited to meet you.
Yes.
Awesome. Very cool. Yeah, I think too, Mark, what you said about all the tools and technology and all that stuff, you can definitely bootstrap it with some of that stuff, right? Like, I tell people all the time, why paying $120 a month for the CRM when you could have a free CRM right now with a notebook next to your desk? Just go old school for a little while. Just like that's what I did when I first started out. I had a notebook next to my desk, and I had hot written at the top for hot leads, right? Keep track of them. Do it on your computer or whatever, but you don't need all these fancy tools. You can do free landing pages. You can do free email campaigns. You can, you don't need a fancy website. You don't need fancy CRMs and all that stuff. So Google Voice is free, right? You don't need an answering service.
Exactly. You've got Excel. Yeah. We don't need all these other extra tools. Like you said,
they're nice though.
I had exactly. Had a lot of pen and paper in the beginning. A lot of pen and paper. And they're all posted up everywhere. But you know what? Help us get moving. And that's what we needed. Didn't need to spend on all this extra stuff.
Yeah. I think I get it though, right? Yeah. Because I think there's a tendency to think if I don't have these things, then I'm never going to be as big as Scott Bossman or Landon Harris, right? So I want to be them right out of the gate, and you're excited, but just get the fundamentals down first. I remember reading about John Wooden, who, if you're not familiar with John Wooden, he was the basketball coach at UCLA. He's like the winningest basketball coach ever. I think he won like 11 straight championships, and he coached. His name was Lou Alcindor at the time, but it became Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And he would start practice. He's got the best talent in the country. You know how he start practice? Any guesses?
No idea.
You guys, men? Here's how you put on your socks, and here's how you tie your shoes. And that's how they would start. The most basic of fundamentals. And then go from there. Can you imagine?
I didn't know that. That's
I
crazy.
didn't either.
Yeah.
That's a
awesome.
fun fact of the day.
Yeah.
No, it is the fundamentals, and it's just about getting, and that's the other. You need to have the discipline to do this, right?
Yeah.
So you need to carve out an hour a day, and need to do something every day. If your intent is to, eventually replace your income, right? Quit your job, retire your spouse. You need to put an hour a day into this, learning or doing or implementing.
Right.
And that's free, right? That discipline. I mean, there's a saying. What is it? You got to pay the rent, right? But in essence, you're spending your time to do that, and there's no inherent cost to that today. To do that, to reap a reward later.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
so
And even when you're thinking about, if you have $5,000, marketing is an important part of what we do. Let's say you pick up the property. What do you do with it? You got to market it. But guess what? Facebook Marketplace is free. Oh, and by the way, that's still our best platform by far. Still our top platform that we sell on all the day, all the time. And if you don't have any money, you don't have to have a ton of, I got to get this website and I've got to pay for, this land site. And they're great. They're awesome. But if you're not there yet, start with the free Craigslist. You can market on Craigslist still. You can market on Facebook Marketplace. I mean, and if you're consistent and you know what to do and how to really do, and it's really, actually, to be honest, those are actually two real simple ones to really kind of get you started if you're trying to just start this with, a little bit of money just getting going. And 5,000 is not a little money, but it's enough to get started in what we do. It is enough to get you moving forward and get you what you need to know in this business. So there's just so many different ways to get this going. And it's just, to me, it's what's one of the coolest things about this. You can just do this with just a little bit of money in your pocket, and just kind of start the process, get it moving, still make some money and develop and become an actual solid land investor and really move forward with this. It really is.
No, I love it. I love it. Should we answer Chicks with Brass's question?
yeah, I think we should. But let's say one other thing, and that is, we have proof in this community that you can do this with $1,000, right? And you really can. Like, you could buy 3 or 4 properties, LandArb with $1,000. You could do a mailing campaign with $1,000. Eric Peterson, one of our Land Geek coaches, there's a YouTube series out there, guys. Go look it up. Maybe we talked about this last week. I can't remember.
Yeah. It's him and his son going after competing over a year with $1,000.
Yeah.
That's
He
kind of
took
fun.
$1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He took that $1,000 and made $100,000 over the year.
Yeah.
I think his son lost money.
It was
And
actually
now his
kind of
son-
fun to watch.
And now his son's a land investor.
That's good. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's proof of
Yes.
concept.
His son had he had a crypto strategy and a short sale strategy, and initially he was a little bit ahead of his dad, but then Eric pulled away and turned $1,000 into $100,000. So look him up on YouTube. What is it called, Mike? Mark, the father son YouTube challenge.
Father son challenge, and just look up Eric Peterson, ERIK. Peterson, PETERSON.
Put that on a banner here.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, now we should answer Chicks with Brass question. I wonder if she's like a trombone player. I'd like to know
curious.
that.
Oh, yeah.
Chicks with Brass,
I'm curious.
I'm
Yeah.
a trombone player. I'm a partial trombone. I mean, it could be trumpet, it could be tuba, but trombone's the
Could have
best. Let's face
Could
it.
be.
So
Yeah.
so-
I think she should answer that question first. But how'd you think? So, do we need to have a company formation from the get-go, For offers on letterhead, Landon, do you need to have a company formation from the get-go? For
The
offers on
answer
letterhead?
is no. You don't have to. You can start this with just your name only. Is it nice to have? Yeah. And is it hopeful? Yeah. And I'll be honest, that's really not even that expensive, even if you do need to start with a company name. Like you can probably get that done for 150, $200. But to answer the question, no, you don't. You can start just you. You can start with Chicks with Brass. You can be that and then go. It's just that simple. Just that simple.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think again, eventually you're going to have a company, especially as you start automating with GeekPay, you have to have a company.
Mhm.
And you want to have a company for lots of various
Yeah.
reasons. I mean, the number one being taxes,
Yep.
and then of course, liability protection. So they can't go after your personal assets. God forbid something goes wrong. It's very rare, but it's always nice to have that limited liability protection. But
Mhm.
from the get-go, no, just start doing it. It's
Mhm.
it's another nice to have.
Yeah. Yeah. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, I think we started that way with just our name alone. And we got 3 or 4 properties under our belt and eventually transferred them over to the company, but just started that way. It was just that simple. We wanted to get going immediately. So yeah,
Yeah, I love
you
it.
do that.
Dude, buddy, how long before you became a big walking corporation?
Well, we actually had one in place because we were on the verge of buying a duplex or buying a multifamily home, considering it. So we had the LLC formed and ready to go.
Okay.
But so that was quite convenient. But Landon's exactly right. Just start by doing, and that's one of those things you can do down the road to make things a little bit easier. But definitely don't need to do that to buy a property or to start a mailing campaign. So
Do you and Aaron ever like during pillow talk look at each other and it's been like a bad week of land sales and be like, damn it, we should have bought that duplex.
never. Never. In fact, it's because I have a friend who does it, and she's had it. She's done. And she got into duplexes about the same time we got into land investing. So uh, every time I see her, I'm like, hey, how's how are the duplexes going? They have a bunch of properties, but they're just constantly dealing with headaches. Many, many, many headaches and emergencies and court dates and evictions and
Oh, oh,
furnaces and ACs and water leaks and roof repair. And I mean, the list literally goes on and on and on. But like, when you think of a headache of a land deal, like, there's such a short list with that.
it
And it
is.
doesn't happen very often.
It doesn't happen very
Yes.
often. It's usually they dump something on the property
Yeah.
or they built something they weren't supposed to, or a code violation. It's
Yeah.
so rare. I
But it's
mean,
like, yeah, it's like one out of every a couple hundred deals, maybe there's an issue.
yeah,
Right.
and it's not like you're evicting somebody. It's not like you're
Right.
taking someone out of their home, right? And it's
Right.
not like there's no emotion to it. It's like, hey, look, if you don't fix this, my quality of life is greatly diminished because of you, landlord, right?
Yep.
But it's like the land. It's like, oh, hey, can you clean that up? No? Okay, well, then you gotta
You
leave.
gotta go. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Or maybe they defaulted. Like, and then I think about it.
Well, yeah, but they lower
Well,
your
that's
cost
cool.
basis. You're like, oh, making more money. That's my worst
Exactly.
case.
I'll just resell it.
Yeah,
Resell it. Make more money. It's just that easy.
yeah.
We got
It's
a bunch of
crazy.
questions coming in now, so I like it when the audience is interactive. So
I love,
first of
yeah.
all, Chicks with Brass is not a brass player, much to my chagrin. It's more about firearms, I guess. Conceal carry.
Okay.
Oh,
I
wow.
get it. Makes sense.
Okay,
Makes sense.
Landon,
I just started.
can we talk firearms for a second?
All right, we got to talk firearms for a second. You're right. Mark and I have we got a play date. We got to get out
Oh,
to the
nice.
range. Yeah, we got to get out to the range. It's happening. It's
Yeah.
happening. I got a good range. We're about to go out there and just
Nice.
fire off a few guns. I got some in the stash. So I'm like, Mark, we got to get out there and go. So
Yeah,
yes.
he's playing it down. Let's put it this way: of all the homes in Scottsdale that you would not want to rob, it's Landon and Tria's. So Tria, like, first of all, if you haven't met Tria, she's like the sweetest, kindest, gentlest human on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, she's former military, and she looked me dead in the eye. She's like, Mark, I have a weapon in every room except for my laundry room. Every
She
room
wasn't
in the
lying.
house, there's a weapon. Yeah.
This
So,
is new news to me. I can
I
see it, but
know,
it's
man.
new to me.
When you get, semi-retired, you go, well, I got things I want, and I got I need new toys. So
yeah.
these have become, they're not toys. Well, let's get that clear. They're not toys, but I enjoy it. I enjoy shooting. I enjoy getting out there. It's kind of fun. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Nice.
That's awesome. Well, should we? So Daniel Bryan has two quick questions that hopefully we can help him with.
All right.
So Landon, first of all, he's new land geek, and a couple things he's run into since he started. How do you show properties remotely to buyers? Is the first one. So let's go
Okay.
over that real quick.
All right. One of the ways that you can show properties. Okay. So with most folks, you're just like, hey, you're available to go out anytime. Just give me a call. Let me know you're going to be out there so that
Are
I
you
could.
kidding right now?
Yeah, like,
I mean,
what?
Are you serious right now? You're going to show
Sometimes.
property?
If I'm showing a property, I don't
We're
physically
gonna talk
go.
him through it.
I have to talk this. No, we're not actually going out anywhere.
Oh,
I
that's
haven't
how you're
No,
saying.
no. Wait, let's be clear. Yeah, let's be clear. I haven't set foot on any property.
Okay.
There's not one property I've actually put my foot onto.
Yeah.
Matter
I
of
was
fact,
so
I don't even know if I've
confused.
been in the state.
Yeah.
So, but no, like you can tell them, hey, go out to the property. Matter of fact, when you get out there, give me a call and we'll talk about it as you're walking through it. Or, a lot of times we've done this before. We've gotten on FaceTime with somebody. It's like, hey, let's get on FaceTime. We want to walk through the property. You know what? Give me some photos. I'd love to see some photos of you out there. Matter of fact, I'm going to use those for marketing them down the road. But that's down the road. But it's great to be able to have somebody get out there and go. They want to take a look at it. I'm going to give them GIS photos. I'm going to give them, if I have a photographer out there, I'll send them photos that we have. We're going to give them 4-point locations so they can find the corners. Like I said, they can match it up with the GIS. So they actually get an actual representation of what that property is going to look like. So no, I don't personally get out there, but that's just one way that we kind of, get folks if they want to actually go out and see the property before they actually buy it. Never had a problem with it. Never once have had a problem with it.
Amazing. Dude buddy's leaving. Okay, so the way I would show properties remotely to buyers is I'd give them the GPS coordinates, say, here you go.
There you go.
Go on an adventure.
Yes.
And if you need help, maybe contact a local surveyor. They could help you. Maybe a local broker out there, pay them a couple bucks. They can take you out to the property if you're feeling a little uneasy about it. But otherwise, go on an adventure. Here's the coordinates.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, they can't reach me because there's no self-service
That's true.
to do that. So we try to give them as much direction as possible to get out there and go on their own adventure. But yeah, to Landon's point, like we're personally not going out and taking anybody out to their property.
No need. Yeah. It's just dirt. And I hate this. I'm not saying it's like not important, but it's dirt. It's one of those things. Like if you have the proper GPS location and you got the Google coordinates, plug that in your phone. Nowadays, it will actually pull you to the exact point of where your center point is and where the corners are. That's really all you need. It's really all you need. So like I said, I've never had anybody ever go, well, this is the problem. It's not a problem. It really is just that simple. Just plug it in. Just send them out there. So I'm with
Yeah.
you. I'm
Yeah.
with you. Just
No,
that
no.
easy.
Yeah. And people don't have real high expectations for that much hand holding. It's especially for the, at the pricing we're at. For a
Exactly.
piece of property, $200 and $200 a month.
Right.
That's like Walmart pricing. You're gonna get Walmart service, right? Basically.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Like I think of it this way too. It's like, what am I going to show you? It's not like it's a home. I need to show you the walk-in closet and the kitchen, and here's I don't. There's nothing I really can show you. It's here. It is. This is the land, and once you've seen what the dimensions of the property look like, you have a good picture of kind of what it is, and then you start talking about, well, what is it that can do with this property? There's a lot of things we can do with it, but
Would you rather eat a bowl of cockroaches or show somebody 7 homes in a day?
all the cockroaches, I can get that over. I can get that over quick. 7 homes in one day, that's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot of showing. It's a lot
Yeah.
of showing. I couldn't. I don't have the patience. They're like, they come in the house. You're the realtor. You're looking for the commission. Like, oh yeah, I don't like these countertops. Well, you can change them out. I don't know the dimensions. I'm not feeling it. There's not enough light. It's like, oh, let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one. Give me the cockroaches.
Exactly.
Delicious. Let me go on with my
You
life.
get your protein in.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Daniel Bryan.
Man.
Oh no. Scott, do you want to take this one?
Sure. Sorry, a little smoke detector issue over here.
Oh.
So thoughts on attorney closing states, my state mandates it. So I mean, I think we typically stay away from attorney states in land investing. There are a few I can think of off the top of my head in North Carolina and New York.
Mhm.
I don't know about other ones, but if you're in New York or North Carolina, you can do this in other states. It's no big deal, right? I'm in Wisconsin and I don't do deals in Wisconsin. So it's a great thing that you can do really from anywhere. And that, kind of goes along to what Landon was talking about before as well. Like these areas we're working in, once you know one parcel, you know them all. And, it's really easy to work in these areas for an ongoing period of time. So,
Yeah.
and you'll have to look into your rules and regs in that state if it is an attorney state. Here's a good question. So Brenda's new to land, just started a text campaign. Any thoughts or suggestions on mailers versus texting?
Oh, I have a
Mark,
lot
you
of
love
I was
thoughts
going
this.
to
on
say, Mark, yeah, you got to go in on this one.
I love it. First of all, Brenda, fantastic. But it's not either or, it's and. So the way the strategy is that you're going to send out a mailer and then you're going to text them. Hey, just sent you out an offer on your land. Let me know when you receive it. Right? Then you wait. Then you text again. Just following up on that offer I sent you on your land. And so from that, so I think that's the way you do it is you could do all of it, right? Then you can call them and leave a voicemail. So now you're real. It's like, oh my God, Brenda really is a real person. She texted me, then she sent me a letter, then she called me, then she texted me again. Right? And the average person that's sending out an offer is just sending out an offer. They're not going that extra mile, and you are. And yeah, it might cost a few more shekels, but your response rate is going up way higher, which is going to be a better yield on your investment on that mailing. So I love that strategy. In fact, we're working on a deal right now for LG Pass to have that built in that texting piece and start teaching these strategies.
That's amazing.
That is.
direct mail still works really well. A lot of people ask me all the time, does direct mail still really working? It's still working really well.
It's the best thing in the
So,
world.
yeah. So if you are short on shekels, as Mark says, um, you know, maybe pick the cheaper route and go from there. But yeah, I love the dual prong approach for sure.
Yeah, and Brendan, you just gotta be aware of the little bit of risk in texting and TCPA. You
Right.
don't want to text it after 9 p.m., before 8 a.m., those types of things. So just be aware of it. Oh my gosh, can I say his name?
Say it.
Joshua A. Robinflower.
It's an awesome name.
What a great name.
Yes, it is. All right, Mark, talk about what no one ever talks about, taxes. Is every land sale
Huh?
considered capital gains taxable?
Why are you picking on me? Why not Landon?
Landon. People love hearing from you, Mark.
Yes,
And
they
Landon.
do.
And
All right,
Landon.
do you want me to
Both of
answer it?
them.
I'll take it. Landon, do you want me to take it?
I do. I would love to hear your point on this one.
Let's talk taxes. Okay, come here. Come here, just between us. Okay, so here it is. Every sale, if you are in the business, you are a dealer of buying and selling raw land, there is no capital gains treatment. This is not an investment. So there are certain rules that is a dealer versus investor. I don't want to get into the, because I can't give you tax advice, right?
Mhm.
But I can tell you from the tax advice that I've been given, I'm a dealer in raw land. My full-time job is buying and selling raw undeveloped land, and therefore I'm a dealer just like a car dealer. However, there is an exemption in the tax code for the installment sale for dealers in land. Now, if I was a car dealer and I sold you a $30,000 car, I would, even though I only got $1,000 down and $250 a month, I would have to book the full $30,000 of sale and pay tax on it. I wouldn't want to be a dealer. It sucks,
Mhm.
right? But in land, you don't. You pay tax as you get those gains. Now, there are different ways that you can mitigate taxes in this situation. So, for example, if you use a self-directed IRA vehicle, you can use a Roth or a SEP. You can grow your profits tax-free or tax-deferred, depending on that vehicle. You can use something called infinite banking concept that Russ and Joey from Wealth Without Wall Street talk about, which I love actually, where you can invest in life insurance and borrow from yourself and then have this passive income coming in as well. So you can get creative with it, but if you are looking for depreciation, like a typical real estate investor, this ain't it, right? Now, all my friends who do multifamily, they don't pay any taxes, and I'm jealous. And then
Mhm.
we start talking, and then they're jealous of me because I don't have any
Mhm.
headaches. So you got to pick your poison, right? But ultimately, for me, there's other things that I do on the side to mitigate my taxes because let's face it, they're our partner, they're a terrible partner, and so everything that I can do within the law that I can to make them a better partner for me, I'll do. And it's by far my biggest expense as a business owner. So it is important. It's a great question, Joshua A. Ravenflower. I'm glad you asked it. But unless you're going to bifurcate that deal, which means that you're going to hold that land a year and a day, and you're going to say this piece of land versus all my other land is an investment, you might be able to make that argument. If you got audited, I don't know if you'd win.
A
Love it.
fantastic
See, that
answer.
was an amazing answer.
I
That's
would
why
have
we
never
call
been
on
that
Mark.
great at it.
I mean, you got to answer
You asked
questions.
the right guy.
Come on, man.
You guys are making me blush.
Kay
I should
Hampton
have
threw out
recorded
this.
that.
Kay Hampton threw out the Star Wars reference. This is the way. She must be talking about land investing. So, gotta love that. Yeah. Any other questions out there? I think we hit all the ones that were up. But good topic tonight. Boot
Yeah.
camp's in a couple days. Virtual boot
Camp's in a
camp.
couple of days. Yeah.
I know.
Landon, are you excited?
I am so excited. I love boot camp. Like it's even still to this day, like we've been in this almost 7 years now. Even to this day, I still get amped up and I come back out and it's like I got more ideas and I'm more motivated
Mhm.
and I want to get into, and it's fun to go back and forth with just like-minded people who just are so interested in learning about this. Like, and they go, wait, how does this, wait, really? That's what it is. And it's really cool. So no, yes. The short answer is yes. I was super excited about it. So it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be really
Yeah,
cool.
I love it, dude, buddy. What's your favorite thing about boot camp?
I just love. I mean, Landon's right. We continue to learn things at every boot camp, without a doubt. But I just love the stories. I love seeing how far people have come in a really short period of time. It's motivating. Even 10 years into this, it's motivating, and it's really because there are some really life changing stories in there for people that have been doing this 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, and that just motivates you, right? And just the community is just so phenomenal. I mean, that's one of the reasons I continued doing this early on, was just the support of the community and the people that I met who made me smarter. And you will meet people at boot camp who will make you smarter. You'll definitely meet people at the live event
Oh,
who will make you
awesome.
smarter, or who you can make money with, right? So it's a good, that's a good investment. Those live events are great investments.
Oh,
So if
Yeah,
you've got the first weekend in November free, I would highly recommend trying to attend a Land Geek event in Austin, Texas.
absolutely. Live events change lives, but even virtual events, because we have those
Hmm.
breakout groups and you
mhm.
get to meet people and you see where they're at. And you're not lonely with it. And it's amazing. But, you know, to your point, like not only do we get smarter and not only are we inspired by the stories, but you make a new friend
Hmm.
and you don't know what's going to come of that. I mean, sometimes they're real friends, sometimes they're deal friends, sometimes they're deal real friends. You just don't know. And it's, yeah, and they're smart. I think, look, I'm going to give myself some credit here. Calling myself the land geek, we attract geeky people who are really smart,
It's true.
and they're happy to share their talents and their expertise, and no one's holding on to their knowledge. Everybody's got an abundance
Mhm,
mindset. It's great.
mhm.
A
It
lot
is.
of Dungeons and Dragons players. It's awesome. I'm just kidding. Oh man.
Are you though?
Did you ever play it, Mark? Did you ever play Dungeons
Heck
and Dragons?
yeah.
See, that's something I never got into.
Oh, it's great. It's so fun.
I flirted with it for a little bit, and then
Yeah.
I couldn't keep up with it and started swimming. It's too much.
Yeah.
Oh.
Landon woke up one day. He's like, "Oh
So-
yeah, girls." Girls.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a
Put
reason
the
to come
dice
out of
down.
mom's basement. Yeah. Oh my gosh. James Lockton just signed up for Austin. James, how's it going?
There you go.
James
Nice.
is going through flight school right now. Just had a coaching call with him yesterday.
Nice.
They're moving forward and doing awesome. So,
Will not
uh,
regret that.
and Chicks with Brass, Jamie is also coming to virtual boot camp. So
Let's
Chicks
go,
with
you,
brass.
Jamie.
Let's go, fuzzy slippers.
Let's go. Wait, what's the fuzzy slipper thing? Am I missing
No,
something?
she had it up
Look.
in her chat, in her comments. She's
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I thought maybe Mark knew something I didn't.
Inside baseball, of course, it's something I can't tell you. It's between me and Chicks with brass.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Between you two, that's fine.
Yeah.
Secrets don't make friends, in my opinion, but that's fine. It's not a thing.
There's an in group and there's an out group.
Yeah.
And Chicks with Brass and I are in the in group.
There you go.
Yep. You guys are real friends and deal friends and real
Yeah.
deal friends. That's the new
Real
thing.
deal
I like
friends.
that, Mark.
That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
So, Mark, there is a little sad news, though. You're leaving us next week
Man.
for a while.
Okay, so let's talk about it, because it is the summer of Mark, and so I
It's been
always take July off, but this year I'm I'm going to be working June, but I'll be in Europe. And so it's like 3 a.m. European time to do nightcap. Now, that being said, there is a part of me that thinks I can set an alarm and show up disheveled and then go back to bed. There is that part of me that thinks I could try. Then there's the other part of me that's like, I think you guys got it.
We got it.
You got it. I know you guys have it. And I think it's actually better. Like less me is probably better for the community. I'm sick of me. So June, July, August. Now in August, now I'll be in Southeast Asia. So in Southeast Asia, I might be able to make it that time period. So that'll be morning my time is at 6 o'clock in the evening. So I might be able to make it in August. So we'll see. But for sure, I'll be back in September.
Awesome.
Maybe.
You'll be missed. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. No, for sure.
We could always move nightcap to a much earlier time in the day if you wanted to make one.
No.
Not everyone, but Mark's like, no, you're fine.
It's a show. It's
9
a show.
Eastern is fine.
9 Eastern. People are drinking. No, it's not lunch cap.
I mean, it could be.
You know.
Yeah.
Bailey's and coffee. Who knows?
All right. Okay.
Yeah, but I'll miss you guys.
Well, we'll miss you too, Mark. And for those coming to virtual boot camp, we'll see you in a couple days. We've come up on an hour here, so thank you, Landon, for joining us tonight in
Happy to be here.
in absence of Mike Zano and John Burnett. Appreciate you being here.
Happy to be here, man. This is fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Hope I get the invite
Mark?
to come back again.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, absolutely. For
Of
sure.
course.
And
Love it.
guys, let freedom ring.
Let freedom ring.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
See
Have a
you
good night.
guys.